Congressman Greg Steube. Congressman, the audacity of this man, I realize it's not even him. It's just a weekend at Bernie's in a suit in the White House. But still, I mean, whoever's writing this stuff for him that he actually reads, it's astonishing, isn't it, how he just stands there and acts like this is the Republicans' problem.
Yeah, it's fascinating, the lies that come from this White House and that continue to come from this White House. And it's almost like they've gotten so used to lying, they just continue to lie and expect the American people to believe them when the American people know that's not the fact. We had secure borders under President Trump, and he created this. In fact, he took 64 executive actions to create the chaos that we've had at the southern border. Over 12 million, it's 11 million illegals have come into our country, and now you're incentivizing them more to come into our country by giving amnesty to spouses. You're going to create a whole cottage industry of people getting married just so that they can get citizenship in our country instead of going through the process that is required to go through to ensure that it's actually a legitimate marriage. I actually know people who are in this circumstance and have spent years going through the actual process. They got married. They have a legitimate marriage. The Immigration Service does an investigation. And now we're just going to waive all of that and allow anybody that's here that's a spouse of an American citizen to get citizenship. This has been their plan all along. Allow 11 million to 12 million, as many illegals as we can get into our country, then get them to be citizens and then allow them to vote. We've seen that in California. We've seen that in New York. This is a political move right before the election that he'll continue to do because ultimately they want these people to vote. If these were Trump supporters at the border, the border would be closed tomorrow. There would be a wall and nobody would be allowed in.
Yeah.
That's such a great point. Yeah. Such a great point. Congressman, Joe Biden is blunder after blunder. It just continues. He says that the situation on the southern border apparently is too complicated for Americans to understand. Way to insult all Americans. Take a look at this.
We can both secure the border and provide legal pathways to citizenship. But we have to acknowledge that the patience and goodwill of the American people is being tested by their fears at the border. They don't understand a lot of it.
I mean, this guy really, I mean, what's so hard to understand? Borders open, people walking across it. End of story.
Yeah, the American people completely understand it. I think the RNC stat I saw was 2/3 of Americans actually support deporting all of the people that he's allowed in. We've had over 361 known terrorists. These are people on the terrorist watch list who have been allowed to come into our country. Over 50,000 Chinese Communist Party people, over 30,000 Russians, people from Afghanistan, Iran. These are not people that are coming here for the American dream. These are people that are coming here to do harm to Americans. And the FBI director himself, Joe Biden's FBI director, has said that to Congress. The danger that we are in because of this open border that he created, it has nothing to do with Republicans not doing our job. We passed a bill a year ago that would have solved all of these problems. And of course, Chuck Schumer isn't going to take it up. But he could solve it today with the stroke of a pen and reversing those 64 executive orders.
Congressman, last week, you and your colleagues met with President Trump when he came to Capitol Hill. The meeting basically was to plot the first 100 days, or at least to put down a platform for when President Trump returns to the White House. As part of those first 100 days, or as part of that platform, what are your priorities?
Yeah, I'm on the Ways and Means Committee. Obviously, all of Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will expire in 2025. We have till the end of the year to reauthorize that. So the Tax Writing Committee, the Ways and Means Committee, has been spending a lot of time getting ready and prepared and having hearings so that as soon as, God willing, Trump gets elected in November, the new Congress gets seated in January, we can start marking up that bill that would make all of Trump's tax cuts permanent, all of the things that he's done. If that doesn't happen, small businesses are going to see a 20% increase in federal income taxes. Ask any small business how they feel about that. They're going to have to cut employees. They're going to have to cut expansions of their jobs. So we want to make everything that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that Trump put into place permanent. And that'll be the first order of the day to get that done before the end of 2025.
Congressman, an illegal alien arrested in New York, accused of threatening two 13-year-olds with a machete and raping one of them. The guy had been encountered by Border Patrol before and has been in custody multiple times in New York City. Law enforcement knew him but kept putting him back on the streets until he committed this heinous crime. Are we seeing a breakdown in our justice system, both at the border and in some of these Democrat-led sanctuary cities? And how will we stop this?
Yeah, every state is a border state under Joe Biden. I had an illegal immigrant rape a woman in my district. So even Florida is experiencing the crime of all these criminals being allowed into our country. I think the number was over 18,000 criminals have been allowed into our country. So you can expect this type of behavior. And then when you have states like New York and cities like New York who are decriminalizing behavior, of course, you're incentivizing criminals to have criminal behavior and to continue to do it when you get released on bail. Again, Donald Trump will change this on day one by reversing those 64 executive orders, doing more executive orders on the border. The president can do this unilaterally, and then Congress, a Republican Congress, will come back, pass H.R. 2, and make all of those changes law, like remain in Mexico, shut down the border, build the wall, all of the things that we need to do to secure our nation.
Congressman Greg Steube, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, anytime.